Ever get that itch to fire up an old favorite game?
Yeah.
You load it up all ready to go,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
then you get slapped in the face with that soul-crushing server's offline message.
Oh, yeah, I know it well.
Well, that almost happened to Medal of Honor, Allied Assault.
It's true, but this is a story about second chances.
This is a story about hardcore fans.
And it's a story about some serious digital resurrection.
We're diving deep into MOH Reborn.
MOHAA.
MOHAA, I should know better.
A classic.
A true classic. I mean, this wasn't some niche title that came and went. 2002, this thing drops. World War II, first-person shooter. Everybody and their mom was playing this, right?
Absolutely massive hit, critically acclaimed. And the online multiplayer. Forget about it.
Oh, legendary.
Legendary.
People were racking up crazy kill streaks, hitting those clutch flag captures. This was the game to be playing online back in the day.
It really was.
But to really get into why the MOH Reborn project is such a big deal,
Yeah.
we got to rewind a bit. Because like a lot of games from that era,
Okay.
MOHA relied on something called the GameSpy Master Server. You familiar with this thing?
Oh, yeah. Most players probably didn't even know it existed back in the day.
Right.
Let alone what it did.
Happening behind the scenes.
Right. Behind the scenes magic.
Yeah.
You wanted to hop online, find a match. GameSpy made it happen. But then, 2014,
2014.
GameSpy shuts down.
That was a rough day for a lot of gamers.
It was.
Imagine you're hyped up, you're ready to relive some of that MOHA glory, you load it up, and bam, servers are dark.
Just like all those
These virtual battlefields.
And mobile wasn't alone. I mean, so many games from that era relied on GameSpy. Really highlights how even in this digital world, nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
Games depend on this infrastructure, stuff most people don't even think about.
Right.
And when it's gone, it's gone. It's like you lose a piece of gaming history.
100%. And that is where the heroes of our story come in.
Right.
The xNULL team.
Okay.
This group of dedicated MOHA fans, they looked at that server's offline message,
Yeah.
and they basically said, nah, we're not letting this go.
They refused to let it die.
They decided to bring it back, but they didn't do some, quick fix. This was a full-on
This was a revival.
digital resurrection. This
Yeah.
is serious business.
From the ground up. The Reborn project, incredible from a technical perspective. They weren't content with just spinning up some servers. They were practically rebuilding the online experience from scratch.
Hold on. Rebuilding this thing from scratch.
Essentially, yeah.
That sounds crazy complicated.
They had to reverse engineer parts of the game to figure out how it used to talk to those old GameSpy servers.
Oh, wow.
And then they had to create a whole new system that did the same job, but better.
Okay, time out for a sec. Reverse engineering a game to bring it back online.
That's next level dedication.
That is some seriously next level stuff.
For sure. And they didn't stop there.
No.
They knew they had to address another big thing that can plague older games.
Let me guess. Was it keeping things fair? Because nothing kills an online game faster than some, shady character with X-ray vision and unlimited ammo. It's just not fun.
The worst. So the xNULL team, they made combating cheating a core part of this whole Reborn thing.
So they're not just coding wizards. They're like the guardians of fair play.
Exactly.
I like it. Tell me about this. It's like a patch, right? MOHAA 1.12 Reborn unofficial patch. What they actually changed in the game.
Okay, so they added a ton of features to target common hacks, anti-wall hack measures to stop those players from seeing through walls,
Okay, makes sense.
anti-crash systems to prevent cheaters from booting everyone else offline,
Smart.
all that good stuff.
Was it playing defense? But they're not just playing defense, are they?
No way. The Reborn team, they went above and beyond. They actually added new features.
That's howdy here.
Oh, yeah. We're talking event systems for more dynamic gameplay, a voting system so players can have a say.
Hold on, so they're adding stuff you'd expect in a modern online game
Right.
to a game from 2002.
They breathed new life into it.
Which begs the question, what drives this kind of dedication? I mean, the game was finished, right? Why go through all that trouble? What is it about MOHA and games like it that inspire this level of hardcore dedication?
That is the question, isn't it? I think it speaks to the power of community,
Okay.
the allure of nostalgia, maybe even something deeper about how we connect with the games we love,
This is a game that, for all intents and purposes, could have just ridden off into the sunset.
Faded away,
Gone.
lost to the sands of time.
Yeah, like so many others. But it's not gone. It's thriving. Why? What's going on here?
The Reborn team, I think they summed it up best themselves.
Yeah.
Their philosophy is from players for players.
I love that.
This wasn't about, lining their pockets. This was a pure
Right.
passion.
Yeah.
This was love for a game they loved.
Yeah, love for the game, for sure. But this wasn't just, like, blowing off the dust and calling it a day, right?
Yeah.
This was adding new features. It was fighting those cheaters.
Yeah.
Like, they became the unofficial caretakers of this game
Yeah.
long after the original developers, moved on to other things.
Absolutely. And I think that speaks to something we see a lot with games.
Okay.
Think about it. We gamers, we form these bonds,
Yeah.
these deep connections with the games we grow up with, the games of our past,
Totally.
the shared experiences.
More than just pressing buttons.
Way more. It's about the memories, the people you shared those memories with, and when those games start to disappear. It's rough, man. It's more than just bits of data vanishing,
It's like a gut punch, like losing a piece of your history, all those maps you've memorized, the strategies you spent hours perfecting,
The trash talk in the chat.
the epic wins, the hilarious fails.
Exactly.
It's all tied to a specific time and place.
Right. And that's what makes Reborn so fascinating. This isn't just about preservation. It's about revitalization. Bringing something back to life, not just for the people who remember it, but for a whole new generation of players who might never have had the chance to experience it.
It's like, imagine finding a classic car, right? Lovingly restored, engines tuned up, fresh coat of paint. You're not just cruising down memory lane.
Right.
You're experiencing the thrill of that ride for the first time.
For sure. But Reborn also shines a light on something really crucial about the future of gaming.
Okay.
Something beyond nostalgia. As more and more games are online, relying on servers, infrastructure, stuff that we know won't last forever.
Yeah.
Who's going to keep these experiences alive? Whose responsibility is it?
That's the big question, isn't it? Is it the companies who made the games? Is it us, the players? Who you got?
$1 million question right there.
Yeah.
But I think what we're seeing with projects like MOHAA Reborn, it's the community. The players stepping up, saying, we're not letting this go. They have the passion. They've got the know-how.
All right.
And honestly, they have the biggest incentive to keep these games alive.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got passionate players, a dedicated team willing to put in the hours, the blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears, for sure.
Coding.
Lots of coding.
What else? What else makes a Reborn possible? What gives a game that, like, extra staying power? What makes it worthy of a comeback? It's kind of like you want something done right.
You got to do it yourself, right?
Yeah. Or at least hand it off to a bunch of passionate gamers with some serious coding chops.
For sure. For sure. But seriously, it does take a special kind of game to get people this fired up. So what are we talking about here? What makes a Reborn possible?
What are we looking for in a game? What's that magic formula?
Well, with MOHAA, it had a few things working for it.
Yeah.
It had that long-lasting appeal, right?
Yeah.
This wasn't just a nostalgia thing. People genuinely loved to play this game, even with its quirks.
Right. And it did have some quirks. I mean, what game from that era doesn't? But it had that something special, you know? That gameplay loop that just clicked.
Oh, boy.
But lots of games have diehard fans. What else makes a Reborn really take off?
You need a community that's not only passionate, but they got to have the skills to pull it off.
Right, because love will only get you so far, right? You need some serious technical know-how for this kind of project.
Exactly. And I'm not just talking coding wizards, although that helps. I'm talking organization, communication, shared vision. It takes that whole package to pull off something this big.
So it's like a team of digital archaeologists, right?
Yeah.
Carefully digging through the game's code, rebuilding it for a new generation.
Love that analogy. And just like archaeologists, the Reborn team discovered there was more to unearth. Remember all those new features they added? That's the other crucial ingredient. A game's potential for what we call modability.
All right, modability. Love it. So we're not just talking about preserving the game exactly as it was. We're talking about making it even better.
Bingo. MOHAA already had this awesome modding scene, all those creative players, tinkering, experimenting, pushing the limits. That's the energy a true Reborn needs.
Wow. So these projects, they're almost like a form of ongoing game development, right?
In a way, yeah.
But it's driven by the people who love the game most.
Exactly, the fans.
It's honestly pretty inspiring. I mean, think about it. Even as technology changes, even as companies move on, even if servers go dark, the heart of a game can live on through its community.
That's the beauty of it.
It really is. So let's flip the script here. What about you listening right now? What game holds a special place in your gaming history? What would you love to see get the Reborn treatment? Hit us up on social media. Let us know your thoughts. Let's hear it.
Because who knows? Maybe your passion is what sparks the next great digital resurrection.